Vegetables will immediately grow and triple your yield. Water once with this. Hey folks, welcome back to Rootshaven Grounds, where we don't chase garden myths, we grow real food with real results. If you've ever stood in your garden wondering why your vegetables look stuck, slow, or underwhelming despite regular watering, this article is for you. Today, I'm sharing a simple, time-tested watering approach that can trigger visible growth, stronger plants, and dramatically higher yields, often after just one proper application. This isn't magic, it's biology, soil science, and smart gardening working together. Why watering alone isn't enough. Most gardeners water plants, but very few actually feed the soil while watering. That's the missing link. Vegetables don't just drink water, they rely on living soil filled with microbes that unlock nutrients, stimulate root growth, and regulate moisture. When soil biology is weak, plants struggle, even if you water daily. But, when soil biology is alive and active, plants just explode with growth. That's where this one-time watering method comes in. The secret is a living soil soak that wakes everything up. Honestly, the fastest way to kick vegetables into high gear is to water once with a biologically active liquid feed, often called a compost tea or microbial soak. Now, this isn't about chemical fertilizers or expensive store-bought boosters. It's really about delivering beneficial microorganisms directly to the root zone in a form plants can use immediately. When done correctly, this single watering can improve nutrient uptake, accelerate root expansion, increase flowering, and significantly boost yields across the season. And yes, many gardeners see visible improvement within days. What's actually happening underground? Let's slow down for a moment and talk about why this works. Healthy soil is alive. A single teaspoon of living soil can contain billions of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes. These organisms form a complex underground network that feeds plants far more efficiently than synthetic inputs ever could. When you apply a microbial-rich soak, you are essentially restarting the engine of your soil. Beneficial microbes begin breaking down organic matter, converting locked nutrients into plant-available forms, and forming symbiotic relationships with roots. Fungal networks extend the root system's reach, allowing plants to access water and minerals far beyond their physical root zone. That's why growth can appear almost, immediate. The plant finally has access to what it's been missing. The one-time water that makes the difference. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. At Rootshaven Grounds, the most reliable option is a simple compost-based soil soak made from materials many gardeners already have. The key isn't complexity, it's actually freshness, balance, and proper application. This soak works best when plants are actively growing, and the soil is moist, but not waterlogged. One deep, intentional watering is far more effective than, shallow daily sprinkling. Once applied, the soil ecosystem begins to shift, often for weeks or even months. It's pretty amazing how those changes can keep building over time. How to apply it for maximum impact. Application matters just as much as what you apply. The goal is to push life down into the root zone, not wash nutrients away. So, water slowly and deeply at the base of each plant, allowing the liquid to soak into the soil rather than run off the surface. This encourages roots to grow downward instead of staying shallow, which improves drought resistance and nutrient uptake. It's really one of the best ways to help your plants thrive in the long run. For raised beds and containers, this method is especially powerful because soil life is often limited in these environments. A single soak can dramatically change performance. Vegetables that respond the fastest. Well, while nearly all vegetables benefit, some respond almost immediately. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, lettuce, and Swiss chard often deepen in color and size within a week. Tomatoes and peppers typically show stronger stems, darker leaves, and increased flowering shortly after. Cucumbers, squash, and beans respond with rapid vine growth and heavier fruit sets. Root crops benefit too, even though changes are less visible above ground. Healthier soil biology means better root development, improved flavor, and larger harvests at pulling time. Tripling yield doesn't happen overnight, but honestly, it all begins with one critical shift. When soil biology is really thriving, plants waste a whole lot less energy struggling for nutrients and water. Instead, they can channel that energy right into growth, flowering, and fruiting. Flowers hold on longer, pollination improves, and plants are able to maintain productivity much deeper into the season. This one-time watering, often sets the tone for the entire growing cycle. Many gardeners report fewer pest problems, less disease pressure, and a reduced need for any additional feeding. So, in other words, the garden actually starts working with you instead of against you. It's kind of amazing when you see how much easier things get. Alright, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is applying too often. This really isn't something you need to do every week. Overdoing it can actually disrupt the balance in your garden rather than improve it. Another thing to watch out for is using chlorinated water without letting it sit. Chlorine can harm all those beneficial microbes you're trying to encourage. Just allow your tap water to sit for several hours before you use it, or even better, use rainwater whenever you can. And finally, never apply to completely dry soil. Make sure to lightly moisten the ground first, so the soak penetrates evenly and actually reaches those active roots. That way, you'll get the best results every time. What I love about this method is that it works whether you're planting your very first garden or managing beds you've grown in for years. Beginners see faster success and confidence, and honestly, experienced gardeners see yields they didn't think were possible without synthetic fertilizers. This approach, well, it aligns perfectly with sustainable regenerative gardening, building soil year after year instead of depleting it. At Rootshaven Grounds, we truly believe the soil is the real crop. Vegetables are simply the reward. While this article focuses on a single powerful watering, its effects are really amplified when paired with good habits. Mulching helps protect microbial life and retain moisture. Avoiding excessive digging preserves fungal networks. And feeding soil organic matter keeps the system running strong. Think of this watering not as a trick, but as a reset, a way to bring your garden back into balance. Once soil life is thriving, everything else becomes easier. If your vegetables have been slow, pale, or disappointing, don't rush to blame the weather or buy another fertilizer. Start where real growth begins, in the soil. One intentional, biologically rich watering can change the entire direction of your garden. Healthier plants, bigger harvests, less effort, That's the Rootshaven way. If this article helped you see your garden differently, subscribe to the Rootshaven Grounds YouTube channel, share this with a fellow gardener, and grow the movement of soil-first, abundance-driven gardening. Let's raise healthier food together.